Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, on today's gardening agenda, I want to get some cream perfection gladiolus planted over in my grandma's garden. And I also want to start off some elephant ears. I like to start my elephant ears inside about a month before they go out into the garden, just to really give them a head start on the season. So why don't we start with those elephant ears first, and then we can take a look at how my grandma's garden is developing so far. So the variety of elephant ear that I'm growing this year is called Diamond Head, and I thought this was so beautiful because the coloring on the leaves is almost a pure black, and I thought the combination of that black along with the tropical feel of the leaves will just be a beautiful contrast in the garden. So I start elephant ears the same exact way that I start dahlia tubers if I wanted to start them early, just a few inches of soil in the base of any pot that I have around. Then I just stick my elephant ear in. And the hardest thing about elephant ear is telling what the top is. The top is always the part that kind of spirals towards you, and the bottom has holes in it, just like so. And then all I'm gonna do is just cover it up with a bit more soil until I have about probably like an inch or two on top. Make a mess while you're doing it, because that's the fun way to garden. And then all I do is water these in well and stick them either on my radiator if we are running the heat, or if we're not running the heat at that time, I will stick them on a heat mat because they do really respond to heat well. And I usually plant mine out about mid-May. My last frost is this week, but it's still pretty cold here and I really like for things to warm up. So at the same time I would plant out my dahlias, my peppers, things like okra, eggplant, tomatoes. That's when I would plant out these elephant ears. And I'm contemplating just putting them in decorative pots and then sticking them in the landscape. We'll kind of see how that goes, because I got 3 of them and I was really inspired by a trip I took to Chanticleer. I'm always inspired when I go there. But they have such great use of tropicals mixed in with native plants. And every time I go there, it just makes me want to either use more tropicals or even just stick some house plants outside during the growing season. There's your top. These holes are the bottom. So this will probably be inside for about a month, maybe a little bit more than that, until I do bring them outside. All right, let's just water these real quick and get them on a radiator and then plant some gladiolus corms. So are you guys like me where anything and everything doubles as a watering can? A blender, the Chemex, my Pyrex, anything will do when it comes to watering plants. I got those elephant ears inside and put them on a radiator. So now we're gonna move over to my grandma's garden, where basically I've removed almost all the plants from the area. I've left a little bit of columbine and a few hosta. The hosta are probably all going to need to go, because you guys know this has turned from a full shade garden into a full sun garden. But I think I want to plant at least 30 of the cream perfection gladiolus over here, maybe 45. So let me show you where I'm thinking and some other plants I'm going to add into this area and why. So I'm pretty much basing this entire garden off photographs that I have of my grandma's front gardens, which is kind of hard to explain because, you know, she was a floral judge, and so the design of her garden, I don't know how to describe it except for there was just flowers everywhere and gardens everywhere. I'm not even sure it was really specifically designed to achieve a certain aesthetic or anything. I think it was more of just she wanted to grow as many flowers as possible, and she just stuck them wherever they would grow. So there's really a wide assortment of flowers throughout these pictures. But the Rubra Maxima was in the picture, so I put them in here. There was also a lot of peonies in her garden, so I added a very, very special peony the other day, and it had 5 eyes on it, so it might bloom this year. Also, she had tons and tons of dahlias and gladiolus in her garden. So this is really going to be heavy on the perennial summer blooming bulbs and spring blooming bulbs, but especially things like the dahlias, the gladiolas, and the lilies. That's really what's going to be taking center stage here in this garden now. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell, but I did really extend this garden out as much as possible. And then I purposely put some bricks along the side here just because this walkway over to the lounge chairs is really narrow, and I wanted to have some bricks there so that if you needed to kind of step into the garden, you could step on those bricks. But I did put in a crab apple right here. This is a dwarf variety. I will try to find the tag and put it on the screen if I can. And there's Grace. But see where I have my shovel there, where I found a big root of pokeweed in the ground? That's where I'm thinking to put the Cream Perfection, a nice, really big drift. I noticed some questions last year about gladiolus falling over. The best way that I've found to combat that is to plant them close together, about 3 inches apart. Even you can push it to even 2 inches if you like. And also the more the merrier, because they kind of help each other stand up. At least that's been my experience thus far. So I like to do my gladiolas a bit deeper than it says on the bags too. A lot of suppliers will say 5 inches down. I like to do 6. That might also help with them standing upright, but look at this. Look at that pokeweed root. And you know what? I didn't even get all of it out. All right, let's get to it. Oh man, I found some more of it. It's everywhere. You want to dig? Dig. Go ahead, you can dig. Oh, I guess she doesn't want help today. If I ever have a nice area like this where there's nothing around and I'm planting lots of bulbs, I always find it easier to just dig a big trench rather than digging a whole bunch of smaller holes. I don't want to get it too close to the front. I see in a lot of the pictures that it looks like she was growing impatiens in the front, which is strange because that was full sun. And I'm not sure if they had sun patience back in, like the 80s and the 90s. So I have to think what I want to do in terms of that, because she definitely edged those front beds with something that looked like an impatient. She also had this flower, and I'm wondering if any of you guys have heard of it. I don't know the name, I don't know the Latin, I don't know the common name, but she was really proud of it. It was a white flower. It had foliage that looked like a dandelion, and it bloomed at night. I think it was fragrant. I'm pretty sure it must have been rare because she was always really excited whenever it would bloom. I'm not sure if maybe it just bloomed once and then it was done. But whatever that was, I would like to get my hands on it. And I did buy some rare bulbs for this area also, which are quite tender, so we'll have to wait at least a few more weeks to get those in. But some exciting things and new things that I've never grown before are going to be going in this area also. What you doing, Grace? Where were you? What are you doing? Oh, I'm so excited for these gladiolus, you guys. I think the color is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Well, I had planned to continue planting out some more gladiolas, but I can tell by the look of the clouds that it is about to dump a load of rain on me here. So I better clean up my tools, get my corms inside, and I just want to wish you guys a great day in your gardens. If you need rain, I hope you get it. If you don't need rain, hopefully it's not too much. I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.